to my channel. Yes, it is me, your girl, your favorite fatty, back on your screens on yet another Wednesday. Before we get into this video, please don't forget to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe. But most importantly, don't forget to hit that little bell in your bottom right corner so you can get notified every time I post a new video. Also, please do follow me on all my social media platforms at Ismundia. I haven't done a sit down in the longest time, so excuse me if I don't know how to act. So as you guys have seen in the title of the video, I'll be doing, I don't know which episode it is, either the third or the fourth one. Guys, please mind the sound in the background. But so it's about time to do and make noise for the rest of us. As I was saying, I'm not sure if it's the third or the fourth episode of my CASA journey. I think the last episode I spoke about the studying portion, like being in actual varsity. So in today's episode, I'll be talking to you guys about the actual article process, which is where I am currently in my journey. Yes. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay guys, so now to be able to start doing your articles, obviously there's application process, then you have interviews like any other normal job. Then should you get called back, they send you a contract for you to sign and right. So it also, I want to say it depends. Okay, first let me say this: there are some companies that you can apply to do your articles if you have CTA, and others you don't have to have CTA in order to like work with them. Right, for instance, where I work, you can have your degree and then do your CTA while you're working, which is what I'm doing, right? So yeah, so either if you have your CTA, or if you're doing your CTA, you should apply to these firms everywhere. Like, don't just apply at one place. Similar to like applying to go study in varsity, like have options, right? Because you don't know who's gonna take you, who's not gonna want to take you. So rather have options. Apply everywhere. I did that, safety net. So I did apply at your big fours, and then applied at SNG Grant Thornton. I applied at Mazars. I think I applied at the banks also, because banks also have CTA graduate programs, which is technically your articles. So there's a list of, like, guys, do your research, apply everywhere. That's my first tip: apply everywhere you can apply while you're studying. So if you while you're doing your CTA, that's when you apply. Actually, yes, while you're doing your CTA, apply, like apply. Okay. Some firms do, like firms that are offering you a bursary while you're studying, do normally take you for your articles. I know which one does that. Is it AGSA? I think AG does that. But I think I'll put a list of companies that you guys can apply at to do your articles that I know of, that I applied at, and I'll just list a few that I know of, where you can put up with your applications. So fine, once you've applied and whichever company call you back, they send you an email responding to your application to say whether they're taking you or not. You then go through the interview process. I didn't have many interviews. I think I had 2 with the big four firms, and then I had one with the current firm that I'm working with now. So they ask you, I can't remember here, but like they ask you information obviously related to the company, what you bring to the company, because like they want to know. So as I was still saying, you get asked like normal questions. Tell us about yourself, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years. They ask you scenario based questions also, just to see how you would respond to certain things. So for instance, like for one that I remember is they asked what kind of like how do I phrase this? They asked me if like I was in a situation that was like in a conflict situation with a friend or a colleague, not a colleague, your study friends back in university. Like if you had to be working in a group and there would be like a conflict, how would you resolve the conflict, or how would you go about dealing with that situation? So stuff like that. So they want to see how you would deal with certain things within a business environment and within the audit environment. So they ask you those stuff, but they also ask you stuff based on like your IFRS standards and stuff. So I remember they asked me which standard deals with like I think they give you a scenario and then they ask you which IFRS standards apply to that given scenario. So they jot down everything that you say to them. I think they also asked me why I would be a good fit for that said company. I think they asked me that for my interview with the company that I work with now. So they asked me that, and like be yourself firstly. Like don't try as much as sharp, you need to be professional and have a certain standard of decorum and like be a certain way, but like honestly you need to show them who you are when you're speaking to them, as much as you can. Like but if they don't get you as a person from the interview, then it's tough, because we're working in an environment where you will be talking to people, the clients that you'll be working with. COVID did mess it up a bit, but we did talk to clients remotely via your Microsoft Teams and your Zoom and stuff like that. But they want to see what kind of person you are and if you're the perfect fit for their company. So make sure that you give original answers, not what you hear from someone else, because they might not ask you the same questions as they ask your friends, if for instance in solar interviews on the same day. So another tip I'd say is be yourself, like be natural. Don't rehearse answers, because then you'll forget and then now you're freezing because you don't remember what you had rehearsed. So be natural as possible. So once the interview process is done, before I move on from that, sometimes they give you a response whether they like you move on to the second stage, which is interviews, via email. So they'll tell you, we regret to inform you. I got a lot of those. Did I lose hope? Just a tad bit, but there was light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, sometimes they do, like I know actually they all did, we regret to inform you. You always remember those emails. But I didn't even like try to reapply because I was just like, God will see to finish. Yes, it's above me. So luckily God did see to finish. But anyway, so after the interview, obviously they tell you, should you not, they'll tell you that we will get back to you. The one company never got back to me, I just want to say, and that's messed up. Some of them don't get back to you, but most of them do. So they do get back to you, tell you whether they accept you or whether they not. So then the company that I work for sent me my contract, like a preliminary contract, on the same day I had my interview. Guys, God works in mysterious ways. I just wanted to let you guys know. So I got my contract, and then I signed it and I sent it back to them. So once you send it back to whoever, I'm not sure how the process works with other firms, but this is how it works with where I'm at. And then obviously you get called in so they can do like your biometrics, or fingerprints and all of that. So now we are starting. Okay, I forgot to mention this. Okay, once you sign your contract, obviously they tell you it starts this on this certain date to a certain date, because it is somewhat of an internship kind of thing. But it's a contract. It's not like full-term employment. It's not permanent employment, because you are gaining knowledge and experience. It's like a trial, basically. So normally the standard time or period for your articles is 3 years, right? And then should there be a reason for it to be extended, they do extend it, or they cut it should they feel there's a need, right? But standard period is 3 years. I'm currently on my third year. Yeah, I'm currently on my third year. So as a first year, obviously you're the baby in the team, in the firm as a whole. So within what's the team? So okay, fine, you join the firm, whatever, you go through induction and stuff like that. Then you get placed on a specific client, right? I'll use Net Florist as an example. So Net Florist is your client. So on the audit team for your Net Florist clients, there's a director, then there's a manager, a senior manager, then there's like a manager below the senior manager, but it's still a manager, and then there's your third year, which is your seniors. Then you have second years, which are in the middle, but also seniors because they're not first years. Then you have your first years, which would be you in your first year. But sometimes there's usually sometimes it's not like one manager or two managers. Sometimes it can be like 3 or 4. Sometimes it's one manager, depending on the size of the client and how much work there is that needs to be done and how much supervision is needed. Also, sometimes there's not a lot of third years. Maybe there's 2, sometimes it's 1, sometimes there's 4, so it depends on the size of the team that is needed. Usually as a first year you get allocated to small things on the job, like small tiny things that won't confuse you, because there's things, it gets hectic as you go along. I'm not sure if you guys want me to go in depth with the process, the kind of work that you do, but basically, like you during your articles, you are auditing, like looking at the financials of a company to see whether they are in line with IFRS, to see if everything is as the IFRS and the IAS standards is, because we have a lot of standards. So if the financial statements that the company has produced are as they should be in terms of the laws and regulations of CICA, basically, and your company's acts, your what do you call these things? There's a lot of things, but you just basically making sure that the financial statements that are sent out to the public by the users of those financial statements are compliant and fairly presented, and they don't have any errors and stuff like that. So that's practically what you do during your articles. This is a brief description, very brief. Like, I don't want to go into the gory details because then this video is going to be too long. But yeah, so life after articles, I'm only going to tell you that after articles because I'm still within. But I mean, if you're working and studying, it's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. It gets super hectic. The hours are amazingly exhausting. But that also depends on the client you're working on, and the size of the client, what the management wants, the deadlines of the audit that you'll be working on. So there'll be times when you are required to work overtime. That's life. I don't know what else I should tell you guys about articles, but basically it's you gaining experience. It's you doing practically the things that we studied during CTA, during your BCom and stuff like that. So you're literally going to see the things that we were being tested on physically, and that makes it all worthwhile. So you see, like when they say that the composition of the board is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you test that in terms of doing like the King 4 checklist, for example. You check the bank statements of a company to see what they say. That's what's on their financial statements is what they actually have. So you test that. Like, you test every single aspect of those financials, like in detail, like in the detail that we studied, guys. Auditing, for those of you who are doing your CTAs now, or doing your PCTA and you're going to go to CTA. But yeah, like, I don't have much to say on articles because it's something that you have to be within to know what it is. So, like, you'll see it when you get there. It's an exciting experience. I've learned a lot over the past 2 and my 3rd year now. You get to see the inside of a company, which is what we don't see on the outside. So I like that. Like, you see the back end, the what is not seen on the outside. So, like, you see how certain things are done, how they get to certain numbers and all of this stuff. So it's really interesting. It's eye-opening. just a great experience, honestly, especially if you have like the right team working with you. You must ask questions. Please ask questions while you're on the job. If you don't understand certain things, you must ask questions, because otherwise you'll suffer alone. And you don't want to suffer alone, please, eh? But yeah, guys, apply everywhere. Like I said, apply during your CTA, before the closing dates. Make sure you do your research for all these companies. Make sure you check when the closing dates are. Make sure you apply before the closing dates, because they don't take late applications. Please, they don't. They don't. So be on the safe side. Apply like 2-3 a month before the closing date. Have all your required documents certified, like your ID, your transcripts, what else do they need? Your degree, your transcripts, those tiny things. I think they also need your CV. Yes, so have a CV, like fine tune it, make it look presentable, just apply. Do your research on the companies when they call you in for interviews. Ask them questions also. You must ask them questions, just so they can see you are interested in them as well, as much as they're interested in you. But do your research on the company. Don't be nervous. I mean, I can't say don't be nervous, because it's nerve-wracking, but be yourself, be true to yourself, don't lie. Guys, if you have any other questions relating to articles, please do let me know down there in the comment section. I will be sure to get back to you. I'll also list the firms where you could apply in the description box. I'm not sure about the closing dates. Should I put those in? I'll put the closing dates in as well, just so you guys can have an idea as to by when you should have applied on their given websites. Should you have any other questions, the comment section is yours. I will definitely respond to your questions. Also, do let me know what else you guys would like to know about this journey that I'm on, and that you guys are embarking on as well. And I'll be sure to have a video for you regarding that. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys found this video informative, although I didn't give like gory descriptions, like in depth, but I hope it gives you some sort of an idea, see you guys in my next video. Don't forget that self-love is always the best love. Bye.